I never checked. GM guys. Hope you guys can hear us. As usual, it's lovely and it's nice to be here with you guys again. This is the last day of the week. So what are you expecting? Yeah, what are you expecting from the market? How are you seeing the market? It's the last official trading day of the week.
Yeah, in the traditional market, but crypto runs 24/7. But anyway, what we are seeing in the market currently is almost the same things that we've talked about. Now, should we start with like Sora? Because we've talked about it that if we are coming towards the end of the week, and we see tokens, try to pump, it's like the best time to sell, right? And wait over the weekend to rebuy back, right? And this is basically what we are seeing playing out, despite some of the good news that we are getting from our chains of interest or tokens of interest. We are still getting that retrace. We saw Bitcoin yesterday night go towards 88, 89K, right? Which is a minor retrace. And today it's now above 90K. But we know that we're on Friday. This is Friday morning. So we could still see that retrace go back to the 80s, and we could still see alts come back, So yeah, it's still very much a scalper's market, at this point.
Yeah, it is. In fact, the last 24 hours has been very, very volatile, and it's been exciting. And based on some of the projects that we are holding or swinging, actually did pretty well, which we'll look at. GM to those joining, please feel free to share the link, like, share, subscribe, depending on where you're watching from, either follow or subscribe, and also drop your questions. So briefly, I'll be sharing my screen to look at some of the projects that actually did well within the last 24 hours, one of which is Sora. Sora actually did a very, very good run. It did almost 200%. Almost 200%. That's what Sora did. So let me just share my screen briefly so we look at that. Just briefly. For those watching, you can invite anyone you want to, and you can also share the link and drop your questions. So I'm trying to pull up the Sora chat before I share my screen, so we can have a look at this to see the run from yesterday. So for you guys that have been very constant with what we do here every morning, you'll notice we have been talking about Sora for over a month, and we still spoke about it yesterday. We are very, very vocal when talking about Sora.
Because Sora's performance yesterday was something. It was too classic, because we spoke about it yesterday. We talked about its trajectory. If we get it to move between that yesterday and today towards the 5.5 million range, it's just to sell it and then buy it back at the lower point. And basically what happened yesterday is that we saw Sora go above 8 million, right? Which was a very, very good return. Also, within that same, between 12 and 4 p.m., it still came down to around 4.1 million, right? So it's now, I think this morning, whether it's above 4.5 or 4.8. So it's a good swing. But personally, because today is Friday and we're going into the weekend, we don't know what Bitcoin will do. I'll be hoping to rebuy Sora for swing at around maybe 3.2, 3.5 range. Again, that's the range I'm very, very comfortable with for swinging. So Sora just played out everything that we talked about. I even played it better than we anticipated because of just the tweet that happened. Some of these things, when we say it, it's like something needs to happen to execute it, right? So the pump, we're attributing that particular pump to the co-founder of Binance, responding to their tweet, right? But even if that didn't probably happen, we would have maybe still seen a pump towards, let's say, 4 million, right? And then maybe later today, it retraces back to maybe higher 2 millions or lower 3 millions, still giving us that same range that we normally swing at. But it's actually beautiful to see.
CoinGecko terminal has been lagging for a while now. I was trying to access it and it's just been lagging. I don't know why. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Please,
you.
you guys, can you see my screen? I need to reset it. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. That's good. Okay. All right, so I just had to pull up the Sora chart to show you guys. So we've been talking about Sora, we've been swinging it for the longest period of time, and we did an analysis here about 2 weeks ago or thereabouts. And we've been talking about the levels and also the zone we're looking at breaking where you have a resistance, which is around 5M. Now, if you notice, even yesterday it didn't close above this level. That's why you saw the zone. The price is back below here. There was a huge rejection, so we still did not close above 5M. But yeah, it went all the way to almost 9M. Yesterday, almost 9M, 8.5M. And yesterday morning when we were speaking, it was around 3.3 or 3.4M, something like that. That's where it was at. And the last entry we had was the day before yesterday at around 2.4, 2.5. So it did like descent 200%. Worst anybody was supposed to make out of this trade is 100%. Like the very worst is 100%. Immediately it got to about 7.8. We dropped a message on our Telegram that Sura was actually pumping. Then it was around 7.8, 7.9. We dropped that message. Personally, I sold off approximately at 7.7. I sold off 50% of my long-term bag because my swing bag, I had sold my swing bag around 3.6 before this huge move to get. So immediately I saw this huge move, I had to sell off 50% of my long-term bag, which is why we always talk about having a long-term bag so that you can take advantage of long-term price action. And so I sold off, took very good profits, and I'm looking at getting back in. And we stated it clearly that it'll be interesting to see it correct and the price to stabilize so that we can see another major move. So most times I always talk about not FOMO. There are people that rushed and started buying here. No. There's a whale, part of the people that pumped this. There's a whale that bought almost $35,000 worth of Sora in split 15 minutes on chain. He bought about $35,000 worth of it. Immediately, the co-founder of Binance interacted with their tweet, and that their tweet, the summary of their tweet was they were talking about projects being less decentralized these days and community not paying attention to very decentralized projects. They are not even trying to follow up with the true aim of Web3 and cryptocurrencies. They are bringing so much centralized behaviors such that until CZ or a strong key opinion leader or founder talks about a particular project, that's when most people would start aping in or jumping in. And also, they were talking about that their tweets, they were criticizing how communities behave and why people are supposed to pivot to the actual aim of Web3, building decentralized apps, and also having tokens. That's basically what they were talking about, summary. So they were urging communities to key into solid projects that are actively building and support those projects. So the co-founder of Binance actually reacted to what they wrote, which they wrote it all in Chinese. But she actually reacted to it with an emoji, like a salute emoji. and that gave them some form of visibility because they actually retweeted that. And it was like a huge surge. So once you see things like this happen and you're trying to read in between the lines, if you notice, most times when we do technical analysis on projects, we go to fundamental crypto projects, we do that. We go to fundamental, look at what they are building, look at sentiments and a whole lot of stuff. And we've also said it about Sora. That one of the best things that would happen to the project is if they gain recognition from like Binance because they've been on BNB chain and they've gotten the recognition from BNB chain. So if they gain recognition from like Binance or CZ or something, that will give them like a huge push and a huge pump. And that will validate a whole lot that they've been doing. So it's worth it living a moon bag. That's why we haven't talked about living moon bag. It's really, really worth it. So when you break down what happened yesterday, you find out that right now they are most likely on the radar of Easy Lab. It's not a coincidence that the co-founder of Binance saw their tweet. It might seem like nothing, but it means that they are observant. Maybe they have opened up conversations with the team. So anything can happen moving forward. And note, Sora gradually has been listed on other chains. It's not a meme coin. This is not a meme coin. This is actually a utility project. Gradually, it's been listed on MXC, L-Bank, and maybe one or two other exchanges. Like gradually, from just PancakeSwap where it was, in a space of roughly 1 month. So whatever you're doing, swinging to make profits or scalping to make profits, short term, I would still advise try to keep like a long-term bag. The long-term bag doesn't need to be money you used to buy it and tie it down. It can be your profits. It can be part of your profits that you left there for long term. It can be something as simple as that, which I've also shared a strategy on how you can equally easily do that. So you need to take the stuffs we talk about very, very seriously. We'll answer questions. So we need to take those things like really, really serious because most of these projects we talk about, like we said, it's not paid ad or any of those things. It's actually based on our own research and what we are actively trading and what we are seeing clearly that there's prospects and there's opportunity. So people need to just key into some of these things. We have made it easier for you to do your research before you finally jump in because what we are saying is obviously not financial advice, but made it easy for you to carry out your own minor research then before you decide to jump in. So congratulations to all those that got in on Sura and were able to take profit yesterday. It wasn't a bump and dump. There was more than enough time for people to take profit, like more than enough time to take profit. Even at the price it is here, if you got 2 days ago when we're talking about it, will still be almost 100% up, even at 4.4M. If you got in around 2.3, 2.4, you still be almost 100% up. So kudos to everyone. Congratulations to everyone. Now, the other project, which I think we have some questions here. There are two other projects that we've been talking about that we're big on. One of them, there are so many others, but I can't list them. One of them is ARIO. So if you notice ARIO, we're talking on it's been listed on Base. It's now listed on Base. So they've deployed on Base currently. So it's trading on Base. For those that want to buy it on Base, it's available there. And gradually, they are being listed on more and more exchanges. So for me, for ARIO, I'm not sharing my screen for this though. Right now, they are on 3 exchanges: Economy, Gates, L-Bank. Then they're listed on Hydrex Integral on Base. But I feel you can also still get it from Uniswap. You can get it from Uniswap too, if assuming you want to get it on Base. The price on Base is slightly more expensive than the price on Gates, but you can't take advantage of arbitrage opportunity unless through their bridge. I've not tried their bridge, so I can't say anything. I think Space Navi tried their bridge. I haven't tried bridging, but then they have a bridge.
No. They have a bridge,
Yeah,
but
so
I've not tried the bridge yet.
all right, so you can maybe give it a shot, try using their bridge. But personally, I've not tried using it. So I've not tried to leverage on the arbitrage opportunity on the price on Base and the price on Gates. I've not tried doing that, or the price on L Bank or by economy. I've not tried doing that, but I'm still holding. I've been able to swing it a couple of times, and it's been quite profitable swinging ARIO. The only challenge is the volume is low. So if you're trying to swing it with like 6K dollars to mess you up, unless you're swinging it with like 2K, 3K, 4K. Again, if you're going up to like 6K, nah, it might mess you up. So if you want to swing it, you're looking at between maximum maybe 3K, 4K to swing it, like maximum 4K or thereabouts if you're swinging it for now because of low volume. We don't want to be the one moving the market. Yeah, then the next project which I will share my screen is Orai. So just talk briefly on Orai based on what they dropped yesterday and our takes on it, and also how we're planning to play around this whole stuff. Then before we jump to the charts to look at some trades we're on and maybe some other trades we may send trade ideas for today. So sharing my screen about all right. Hope my screen is visible. Yeah, so on my screen you can see the price of all right today. It's at 7.5. Now something interesting happened yesterday. It pumped above $1. It pumped to 1.2 on like KuCoin. I'm specific on KuCoin. It pumped to about 1.2 something on KuCoin because I saw it real time while the price was moving. And after which it dumped back because some persons just had to exit. People that got it around $1 or 1.1, they had to offload their bags. So personally, am I bullish on all right? Yes or no? Yes, I am bullish on all right. They've dropped the summary of their proposal. Hope you can hear me. I don't know. Hope you can
Yes,
hear
I
me.
can hear you. Yes, yes.
Personal, can you hear me?
I
Okay,
can hear
because
you clearly.
I just noticed a lag on StreamYard. Yeah, so they dropped a proposal which was to actually to terminate launching LFG token and make Orai the major token of the ecosystem. That was actually the proposal they dropped, and they are recommending for people to say yes to that. Now, personally, I feel if people say yes to that proposal, it's going to mean some really good stuffs coming to the Orai ecosystem because all revenue being generated from all of their products will be targeted towards fortifying the Orai's price. Get buyback of Orai, incentivizing holders, and all of those stuffs. So it will go a very, very long way. Like when we mean all the revenue coming from even their decks, Orai decks, revenue coming from LFG, revenue coming from the quant terminal that they dropped yesterday because they've actually dropped it yesterday. So all of those revenues would be funneled into the Orai token, which, if you ask me, that is very, very, that would be very, very bullish. Which, if you ask me, that's like a very, very good opportunity for most persons to go and start accumulating Orai right now. You don't expect this news to be priced in immediately. Most times it doesn't get priced in so fast. It might take maybe a week or thereabouts. When people see some buybacks and the team starts announcing some revenue, you get they've generated this, they've done this, and they're buying back a certain percentage. That's when most persons will start rushing to buy back. But then you would have missed out the best entry point, which right now is still not bad. Getting in at 75 cents is still good. Personally, I feel by January, Orai should be minimum $2. Personally, I feel by January, Orai should be minimum around $2. And it depends on the whole catalyst that we see. It should easily run back above $4. And the crazy thing is, this was how the ecosystem started. Talking about 3 years ago, it was majorly the Orai token, 3, 4 years ago. It's later they started adding others. And they made some wrong calculations here, which made things to spiral down. But they are trying to see how they can remedy most of those things. So for me, I'm still bullish on it, and it's left for others now to decide on what they want to do. So, especially, I don't know if there's something you want to add about the ORI before we move to chats. Okay, so I
The
think
Ori's proposal
okay,
is actually very good, to be honest, because I didn't see it coming that they would stop the launch of the LFG token. So what they are basically doing now is just trying to simplify the system. That's one. Two, make sure that every revenue or every revenue is going to ORI stakers, ORI holders. So there is no form of fragmentation whatsoever. So what they are focusing on is, okay, we are focusing on AI, we are focusing on DeFi, we are focusing on quant trading, right? We are not looking into NFTs or meme coins or any of those things. No, the core team is focusing on these, maybe 3 or 4 verticals. Now, all the revenues that are coming from these things that we are focusing on goes to ORI stickers, goes to ORI holders. So anybody coming into the system just intuitively know that it's only one token I have to buy. And if I hold one token, revenue from LFG, revenue from the DEX, revenue from the quants, revenue from the AI bots, AI models and all that stuff is coming to me. So ORI becomes the value or the yield bearing asset, right? So this asset now, if you just holding ORI makes you money. Because if you check the
yes,
proposal, they also asking for, I think it's about 1 million ORI to keep the staking reward and the validator reward going without. Now, the best thing about this entire proposal is they are not minting new ORI. You get,
yes, they are not.
it is still the same, I think 19 million or 17 million ORI that is still the max supply. There's no new ORI that's coming into circulation or they are minting any new ORI. So there's no dilution. So what will happen is, what would happen if it happens is a supply shock. Almost the same thing that we saw with Max at some point. So these supply shocks, and we've seen tokens in the past when they have supply shock. Back then, we saw that with Yon Finance. We've seen it with YFI and some other tokens that the supply was very low. And once the demand hit, we could see days or even weeks of continuous pumping because people need the token. They need to hold the token, right, in order to benefit from whatever the ecosystem is offering. But at the same time, the token is it's not plenty out in the market. So if ORI can actually, ORI, one of the team that they build very well, they ship very well. If they can deliver on the efficiency of their product, it's good. It has product market fit, right? People are going to buy the ORI token. People are going to want the ORI token because holding the ORI token will be very, very profitable. So if you check, you can see that there's a little bit of similarity between the ORI token that is becoming and the Kujira token that was. Because the Kujira token back then was only Kujira, the Kuji token, right? And Kuji had so many products. They had Oka, they had Fin, they had a Ghost, a whole lot of products, but you did not see them having tokens for those products. It was only Kuji. You get. So Aura is implementing or wants to implement similar thing where you would have distilled, you have thesis, you have LFG, you have ARI and the rest of those ones, right? But then it's only one token that is at the center, at the heart of this whole product. Okay, so for an investor, it makes an investor to look at Ori, the token, as being very valuable. So when someone comes into the equation, maybe an investor, a VC, whatever, and sees that, see, oh, guy, this is what these guys have built out. This is a sheet of dApps that these guys have built out, right? And this is only the token that's at the center of it all, and the token is just worth less than $50 million market. It's crazy bargain, you get. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see in the coming weeks what would happen. Personally, I would encourage people to go and vote yes on that particular proposal just to make sure that it passes. And we'll give them a few weeks and now watch for the implementation too. And for those
All right. Yeah.
asking, just in case, if you merged your tokens, that's your former Max, Rax, Ari, and the rest, obviously they will give you Ori now instead of any other token. You'll be giving Ori tokens now. So I think they gave a little bit of information on the prices and stuff for that. But once the token passes, once the proposal passes, then we should get much more information as to the timeline, and we would go forward with that. So just for people to know that you'll be giving Ori tokens instead.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with you. So for most persons, this might be a foreign concept. They won't understand, but what these guys are doing is actually very good. The only reason why BNB is almost at $1,000 now is because of the burning of BNB, and what made that possible was because of the profits that Binance was generating. In fact, the only reason why BNB is as expensive as it is today is because of BNB chain. So once you have a product that is generating revenue and is profitable, it brings about a value accurate system for that particular token or project. Yeah, that is just what it does. Despite the fact that Binance was successful and they were making very, very good money, BNB did not really benefit from it. It was still ranging up until we had the Binance Smart Chain and it picked up around 2021 first quarter. Towards the end of 2021 first quarter, that is when BNB decided to pick off aggressively. As at first week of January 2021, BNB was still around $30 something or thereabouts, I guess, around that price. So you need to understand the mechanics behind most of these tokens appreciating in value. Very, very important. There are lots of questions here. We'll answer. The only one I'll take now, we'll look at the chart. After the chart, we'll brush through some other questions. Someone that's holding Ori in which exchange makes money. Holding Ori in an exchange does not make you money. You have to take it to the chain itself and you have to stake it. That's what makes you money. It's not holding it on exchange. I don't think there's any token that holding it on exchange makes you money. Take it to the native chain, stake it. That's when you get to earn from whatever is happening on that chain, not holding it on an exchange. Because even if holding it on an exchange is to earn you money, the money is paid to the exchange, not you yourself. People need to understand that it's not you, it's the exchange itself that will get the money. So even for projects that did airdrops for certain wallets that held their tokens, it's the exchanges that get those airdrops and it's the exchanges that get those rewards. They can now choose if they want to reward the holders based on the percentage that they were holding in their exchange. So I think it's very important that people understand some of these stuffs. Looking at the charts, onto the charts, we've lost so much time. We have barely 2 minutes. So looking at the chart, this is an Ethereum trade we got in, I think, the day before yesterday. The trade is still on, still actually on. So if you're on the trade, it's still very much alive. Today is Friday. We're expecting a dump on the charts, like we always see. Friday, we're expecting that. I said something yesterday when I was looking at BTC. I said something yesterday, and we drew this yesterday where we were intending to long BTC, and this was our entry. Now, if you notice, BTC never came down to that entry. It got very close. I was very tempted to take this trade from here. Very, very reason, because it got into this box. That's the reason. It actually got into this box. So I was very tempted to get in on this BTC trade around here. Immediately it went below this zone. Immediately took out some persons had stop loss here because there are people that will trade this and put their stop loss here. Immediately took them out. I was extremely tempted to jump in, but I did not. So let me just leave it. Two reasons that taking out these people. And it was inside this box. Okay, but I said let me leave it because I was looking at it coming to take this out then before I get in. So I decided to wait, and I missed out on this pump. Like I really, really missed out on this pump because this pump would have definitely hit target. Now this trade now is no longer looking juicy again. The trade isn't looking so juicy. Now, why I'm saying the trade is not looking so juicy is because the whole idea behind this trade was immediately we come and we tap in at this zone, we're going to close up this full fair value gap. We're going to go up and close this full fair value gap. Then most likely gets to this resistance. Now it didn't get there, which happens. Sometimes you get missed entries. So it did not happen. It got close to the point, just the difference of about $300 or thereabouts. Difference of barely $300. And it bounced and pumped by almost $2,000, or maybe slightly more than, I think slightly more than two. They pumped about $3,000 if you check from 89 to about 89 to 93. So it pumped about $4K. Very, very good pump, like very good pump. So it goes without saying that this point, I'm no longer confident about this point again. I'm not after this move, so I'll need to find another zone. So most likely we'll post that in the group. Bounce bit trade, we didn't get to our entry, still clean. It's not yet where we want to jump in. So I'll still update you guys depending on how today plays out because we're expecting BTC to actually come down today. So then Litecoin, we didn't get an entry yesterday. The reason I told you guys Litecoin can be very volatile. So after this our entry hit TP, we didn't take any entry on Litecoin. So we're still observing to see how today plays out, basically, before we can decide what to do. Yeah, and CHR, I dropped the trade on CHR. This was a trade I dropped on CHR. For those that took it, congratulations. And we almost hit TP. This was also shared yesterday. If you guys remember, if you check yesterday's video, shared this trade. I took this, and I'm still on the trade, but I've actually set trading stop loss. So I'll check if it has taken me out because I did set trading stop loss when I noticed it was close to this point. I had to set it just in case it chooses not to get here and it starts going back. Yes, because BTC had already started correcting gradually, and we're already on Friday. So I had to use my head since we're on Friday already. I had to just set trading stop loss. So CHR trade did well in good profits. Congratulations to everyone. Hope you guys are taking these trades sincerely. I do hope you guys are taking these trades that we drop. So if you check the trades we dropped, they're actually doing well. Only BTC did not get into our entry. If it had, it would have also hit for TP, but it did not. Also bounce bit too. Bounce bit too didn't get our entry. Bounce bit did not. So let's see how Friday plays out. Like I said, this BTC trade, I'm no longer confident. So I don't advise people still waiting for this. Maybe it's to go to the lower time frame, but I don't have that time now. Bounce bits, yeah, I'm still confident on the bounce bit trade. Still confident. You just need BTC to dump back to like 91 or 90K for this to come and tap our entry. So I think that's all we'll be looking at for trades. Next is to take the questions and call it a day. So next to questions, so someone is asking, I enter Sora but exited too early. Please share another price target. I do that later in the group. Congratulations. Saw your post on Alright. Also, what is we've spoken about this already. Please, where is the best platform to buy and flip long term? I don't know which of the tokens you're referring to. So some other questions from other people. Is it safe to buy it? To buy what exactly? Is it safe to buy what exactly? Then this question I think is for Alright. O Wallet. You can send it to O Wallet. Via the Ori chain. You can just send it to O Wallet. You can withdraw. All exchanges that have Ori listed support O Wallet. Gates, MXC, KuCoin, anyone. they all support Wallet. Where's the link to join? Which of the link are you referring to? If you're talking of the link to our Telegram channel, here is the link. This is the link, if that's what you're referring to. The link is on this screen. Yeah, there's a trade I missed that I didn't talk about. Please let me briefly. This is a trade from 2 days ago. This is a trade from 2 days ago that we took. Yes, we took this trade from here. It went up here, and I told you guys yesterday that I exited here based on trailing stop loss and also BTC pump that happened yesterday. But I told you guys I got back in again just to see, and that actually went and hit my stop loss based on that BTC pump. So for me, this trade, I went out with like a break even because the tiny profit I made here, I lost it here again. So it was more of like nothing was made from this ZEG trade. And this pump was because of that pump from BTC yesterday. That's what actually caused this basically. So this was a trade that actually hits RSL. Depending on if you got back into the trade again yesterday, it have actually hit the SL. Yeah, so that's it. This ZEG trade, I'm not getting in again because right now it has split this zone. So it's just to watch and see if ZEG wants to continue its madness in terms of upward momentum. So it's just to observe. All right, so that's all that we'll be taking for today. Thanks very much to everyone that joined. Feel free to join our spaces that should go later this evening and Clubhouse on Sunday. And as you all know, today is the last day weekly that we do this live stream. So it's till Monday. So see you guys on Monday, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Bye.